Hello, my name is Emily Morgan. I'm the Clinical Services Integration Coordinator for the West Virginia Clinical and Translational Science Institute. I've put together an iLab walkthrough to demonstrate common uses of iLab and useful information for core staff members, managers, and administrators. Some topics that will be covered in this presentation are overview and access, including how to create an account or sign in, navigating through iLab, and submitting and managing requests. This presentation will also cover the time entry module, the reporting module, and administrator features. We'll start with overview and access. iLab operations software is a product of AGILENT. It's a request tracking and management system that also supports billing. WVCTSI uses iLab as a centralized location for researchers to request services and WVCTSI to track the services that we've provided. This improves the WVCTSI reporting efficiency, and it also provides the basis for resource allocation and business decisions. The iLab Partner Network is a feature that serves as the WVCTSI iLab homepage and a starting point for new users. The Partner Network showcases all cores at WVCTSI partner sites that have an iLab implementation. Currently, this is just Marshall University and West Virginia University, but services at all WVCTSI partner sites are available regardless of whether your institution currently has iLab or not. There's a robust search function that takes users directly to the correct core to submit their request. It also provides login and sign-up options for both Marshall and West Virginia University, including other partner sites. I've included some contact information for the implementation at West Virginia University and at Marshall University, and also for some core managers who can help you with some core-specific questions. But of course, if you have any questions, feel free to email me and I'll point you in the right direction. I'll start by going over the account creation and signing in process. We have details for Marshall University, West Virginia University, the West Virginia Practice-Based Research Network, and other WVCTSI partner sites. The screenshots here are taken from the Partner Network homepage. However, if you have the direct link to Marshall University or West Virginia University's iLab cores, you can certainly use that as well. Note that if you're located at a partner site other than Marshall University or West Virginia University, please register using the WVU link. We have specific labs and institutions set up to cover that. I'll start with the Marshall University account creation. So any users affiliated with Marshall University will go to that link, enter their Marshall email address, complete the CAPTCHA, and agree to iLab's privacy and security policies. From there, you'll complete your personal information using Marshall as your institution. You'll select your lab or PI, or complete the information to create your own lab. You'll then enter your billing address, and an iLab staff member will be in touch with you shortly to verify your account. The West Virginia University process is a little bit different for anyone who has existing WVU credentials. From there, you'll pick the WVU credential option, and it will redirect you to the standard WVU login screen, and you'll prompt you for Duo two-factor authentication. If this is your first time signing in, you'll complete the additional information and choose your lab or PI. For West Virginia University only, if you'd like your own lab as PI, please email me with your WVU ID number and I'll work with iLab support to create that. Alternatively, if your lab or PI does not appear in this list, you may select CTSI Community. Once you've received your approval email, you'll be able to access iLab. For members of the West Virginia Practice-Based Research Network, you can follow the same account creation steps shown at Marshall University using the West Virginia University link. You'll enter your email address and agree to iLab's privacy and security policies. From there, you'll complete your personal information. Enter WVPBRN Community as your institution, and don't choose PI as your primary role. You'll also input WVPBRN Community Group for your lab. From there, you'll enter WVCTSI's address as your billing address. After you've completed your submission, an iLab staff member will be in touch with you shortly to verify your account. I haven't relisted the screenshots, but if you're located at another partner site, such as CAMC or WVSOM, you'll follow the same instructions as the WVPBRN, with one exception. Instead of WVPBRN related areas, you'll enter WVCTSI as your institution and WVCTSI partners as your lab. Once you have your account created and verified, you'll sign in. All non-Marshall University partners will use the iLab credentials link. Next, I'll go over how to navigate through iLab. Start with the homepage. The first thing you see when you sign in will be any requests to cores requiring your attention, if that's applicable. You'll also see an equipment search or any recently used cores. Up in the top left, you'll see 3 bars or the hamburger. That will expand the left menu, the center of iLab navigation. You can see any communications you've received, such as a request that is now processing or completed. And you'll see the core facilities option. If you click on core facilities, you'll see a list of all the cores at your institution. So from the left menu, select the core name that you're interested in. Every core page has similar navigation tabs located at the top right of the screen below the institutional logo. Not all cores will have the exact same tabs, however, most of them will look fairly similar to this. With the About Our Core tab, it will display a brief overview of your core, contact information and leadership, hours and location, and specific core contacts. The Request Services tab is where customers will come to request services from your core, or where core staff members can submit requests on behalf of other customers. The top section, the Service Projects and Quote Requests, is what should be used by core staff members and customers both. The bottom section in blue, the Service List, can be shown or hidden, but most WVCTSI cores do not allow customers to request services directly. They're added onto projects after the core has met with them and assessed their needs. The View All Requests tab displays all active requests. There are filters on the left side of the page that can be used to sort requests, and I'll go over the filters more momentarily. This page looks a little different for core customers. Instead, it's called View My Requests, and it displays any active requests they have open in this core. To search or sort requests, you can use the filter menu on the left. You can search by keyword or filter by number of categories. You can also create custom tabs that allow you to filter down to just requests assigned to you or requests of a certain type. By default, the View All Requests page will only show requests that are currently active, so they're either waiting for attention from the core or currently being worked on. To change this view, in the top right, click on Active Requests, which will pull up a menu of all the different request statuses. This is helpful if you're looking for requests that have already been completed or canceled. To view request details in this menu, you can click the blue triangle next to the date to expand more information. You can then click the blue triangle next to Overview to see contact information for the customer. At the bottom, if there are any custom forms associated with this request type, you can see the information the customer has submitted, and below that in gray, you can see any services that have been added. You can label or assign requests through the right menu. Access the right menu by clicking on the yellow pencil with the green arrow icon. To add a label, click Label, and type the desired label, then click Save. Previously used labels will autofill, or you can create new ones. Note that if you're creating a multi-word label, you'll need to enclose the entire label within quotation marks. To assign a particular worker to a request, click Track Work, choose them from the drop-down list, click Add Worker, and then click Apply Changes. Workers can be removed using the red X next to their name. Request statuses are helpful in request management. When a request is originally submitted, it will be waiting for core to agree. Once the core has agreed to the terms of the request, it'll change to Waiting for core to begin. You can click the Begin button to change the request status to Processing. Once any core work has been completed, you can click Complete underneath Processing. This will change the status to completed and take the request out of the active list. Some WVCTSI cores use the Internal Notes form to document a request. This internal only notes form is visible only to core managers and admins. You can use this space to track meetings, milestones, and recommendations. After you update, click Save Completed Form. You can also submit requests on behalf of a researcher if you're a member of core staff. This can be helpful for certain customers. You'll go to the Request Services tab. Under Service Projects and Quote Requests, click Initiate Request next to the correct request type. Enter the researcher's name and select it when it appears from the drop-down menu. If the researcher does not appear in this drop-down menu, try changing the view over at the top right where it says Search Within to All with Access, All at My Institution, or just All. Once you've selected the appropriate researcher, click Proceed. From there, you can complete the information on the request form. After you've completed that, make sure that the Skip Approval box is checked to make sure that you'll be able to proceed without waiting for further researcher verification. You may also wish to click Begin Work. That can save you a step later. Once that's done, you can click Submit. You'll note that you can also save a draft request, return to it, and submit it later. The Reservations tab allows customers to schedule time in rooms or on equipment. You can see here that it's used by this core to schedule exam rooms. The Schedule Resources calendar can also be viewed to see when it's available. Resource schedules can also be viewed and tracked through the Reservations tab if the scheduling module is enabled. Not all cores will use the scheduling module. The People tab displays a list of customers or other users with access to the core. For closed cores, access to new customers can be granted from this menu. There are several options to filter customers on the side, similar to how you can filter requests. The Billing tab displays billing reports for the core. Not all CTSI cores will use billing, as many do not bill for their services or bill through an outside application. The next feature I'll go over is the time entry interface. Not all cores will use time entry, but most do. If you're not sure, check with your core manager or director. The Time Entry tab will take you to a new page with a different user interface. Everything should be submitted as a project. The entries under Service Projects or Quote Requests. Any services that you've provided will be added automatically through the Time Entry module. To add a request for time entry, first make sure that the request is processing. If you're still waiting for it to begin, then it won't be eligible for time entry. Make sure your list is selected and your name is selected in the drop-down list, and click Add New Row. A new menu will pop up. The job is the service request submitted by or on behalf of the customer. The service covers all services that you are able to enter time against. If you're missing a service and need something added so that you can enter time against it, please reach out to me or your core manager or director. Select only the services that you've provided as part of this request. Then click Add. If you start typing in the job field, a list of all time entry eligible projects will appear. If you've given that request a custom ID, you can search for it. Otherwise, search for the automatically generated number. This appears under Service ID on the View All Requests tab. Select the job or jobs that you would like to enter time against, and then make sure that the services that you would like to enter time against are checked below. A row will appear per service associated with each request. Time can be added in quarter-hour increments by using the arrows or typed in directly. Changed values will be highlighted in yellow. Totals and subtotals update automatically. You can also add comments to your time entries. You can add comments to rows by clicking the speech bubble icon at the far right. Save any updates to your timesheet by clicking Apply Changes in the lower right. If a row is added by mistake, check the box next to the comment icon, then choose Delete Selected Rows in the lower right. You can enter time ahead of time up to 12 weeks in advance. You can also enter time for the previous week through Tuesday of the current week. Change the displayed week using the arrows on either side of the hours header above the date fields. The next feature I will cover is the reporting module. iLab's reporting module allows you to visualize core activity. iLab provides some default reports, but those tend to be cost-based, so you'll need to edit them since most WVCTSI services are free. Once a report is created, it can be saved and rerun easily. One thing to note is that services, custom forms, and time entries are all reported differently. So, WVCTSI reporting uses 4 main modules: charges, requests, custom forms, and time entries. This reporting section is named charges, but it really refers to services. You can choose to load a default report, load a saved report, or build a new report. For all of those options, you'll start by selecting your date range, and then selecting the date field. You can customize the display by clicking on Charts and Tables. From there, you'll click on pencil icons to edit specific charts. You can choose your fields, such as the chart or table type, the variable you're running it on, the amount to report on, your time window, and other edit options. When you're done editing a specific row, you can click on the green check, and then when you're done editing the report as a whole, click Apply to run it. For most CTSI cores, the default charts will report on total cost, so you'll need to edit that to reflect quantity, or everything will show up as 0. The report will display all of your created charts and tables. Options for reports include saving them, sharing them, and exporting them. Individual charts can be edited from within the report by hovering over the chart and clicking on the pencil. The menu for reporting on requests is very similar to service reporting. However, it operates on entire submitted requests rather than individual services. The custom forms and time entries have a different interface. Custom form data must be downloaded as a CSV file, which can then be viewed and manipulated in Excel. Again, you can select the date range, you'll choose the custom form, and then download the report. Time entries are displayed in a table similar to the View All Request tab. However, you can also download them as a CSV file for further analysis. Finally, I'll cover some administrator features. These are available to select core staff members. The Administration tab includes custom form creation and editing, core settings, core members, which here specifically refers to core staff, and access requests. The Custom Forms menu is where you can create and edit custom forms. You can start by creating a custom form, click the pencil icon to edit it, click the X to delete it, or click the 2 tabs to clone it. From this menu, you can add the form title, add specific form instructions. You can see here that this example has a couple existing fields, and in the top right, you can choose the field type and then click the green plus sign to add it to your form. The form preview will display below all of your edited fields. This updates in real time to reflect changes, such as different form types, adding new questions, or new branching logic. To add a custom form to a service project, you'll return to the Request Services tab. You'll choose Add a Service Project Template, and a new form will appear. You can enter some information such as the name of the request and some description or instructions. To add a custom form, in the lower right corner, click Add Form. When adding a form, make sure it's set to visible so that customers are able to initiate it. Alternatively, if this form will only be used by core staff, you can leave it as do not allow customer to initiate and only core staff will be able to submit it. The Members menu is where you'll view, add, and edit core admins and staff members. This section should not be used for customers. The icons indicate the current level of access and can be used to edit or remove access entirely. Access requests is where you can view and approve or deny core access requests. This menu option only appears if you require core access requests from customers. To enable or disable access settings, choose the option in the Other Settings menu. If you have any further questions about iLab, feel free to contact me at emorgan4@hsc.wvu.edu or 304-293-6610. I'll be happy to work with you one-on-one to answer specific questions and assist in your implementation of iLab.